Hollywood writers are heading for the picket line. Thousands of unionized screenwriters are now on strike after contract negotiations with the trade association representing Hollywood's leading studios failed. As a result, production, some broadcast shows, streaming series, and films start to grind to a halt. Viewers are going to find some live programs immediately impacted. Those include late-night talk shows expected to go dark this week, and Saturday Night Live could cancel this week's episode. Joining us right now, Ben Smith is the co-founder and editor-in-chief of Semaphore and the author of his first book, launching today, Traffic, Genius, Rivalry, and Delusion in the billion-dollar race to go viral. We'll talk about that virality in just a second, but how big a deal is this?
I mean, it is kind of amazing that they always do this, right? Like, it's an industry. Somebody was just saying to me, it's sort of like France. Like, it's just, they're going to go on strike, and they go on strike, and it is incredibly bitter and divisive, and that's how they do it.
7 or 8 times over 100 years, though. You think that's a lot or a little?
Seems like a lot. Like, a lot of contracts get renewed without this level of acrimony, but I think there's so many changes to the industry in particular right now, and the sort of rules of this workplace are being rewritten around streaming, around the way a place like Netflix just buys all the rights to a show and there's no back end, and the writers, there's a lot of different places that they feel that there's advantage or disadvantage to be had.
So when you look at and talk to people about the timing of how this could all come together or not, how long do you think it could be?
You know, who knows? I don't know.
What is your sense of this? There is a view that the big media companies are actually quite happy about this. That with the exception of you know, not having SNL, for example, or some of the late night shows, the idea of not having, if you sort of create a level playing field effectively where nobody can buy or make new stuff, that's actually going to reduce costs. And if you could actually stretch that out for 2 or 3 months, potentially in an environment where you believe the economy and advertising is already challenged, that's not such a bad thing. That is I don't know if it's a conspiracy theory, but it's a theory that has gone around Hollywood for at least the past couple of months.
I mean, I think across media, certainly everybody is expecting kind of an ad recession and holding very tight. On the other hand, incredibly competitive moment, and each trying to get ahead of the other. And I don't think really medium term these guys can afford it.
Can we talk about virality and traffic? You wrote this book. When did you start writing this book? 2 years ago?
In 2020, yeah.
2020, during the pandemic.
During the pandemic.
And we're now in this sort of moment where we have a lot of companies, media companies. I'm actually curious because this sort of started with your BuzzFeed life, right?
Yeah.
And we're now watching Vice Media, apparently on the brink of filing for bankruptcy. I mean, what do you think's happening here? And by the way, a lot of these companies were companies that the old traditional media companies thought were the future, and everybody was chasing.
I mean, I think, you know, we thought we were the future. And you know, the reason, I guess it was 2020 when I started the book, and it did feel like this era was ending, and I wanted to go back and kind of see where it started in the early 2000s in New York with all these characters who hated each other and hated old media and wanted to blow it up. And I think they made some bets. I mean, in some sense, the big bet was that these social media platforms were the equivalent of cable, and that in the way that cable laid these new lines in the 80s, and these new media companies and and channels, MTV, CNN, ESPN grew up on them.
What's the lesson then? Are the social media companies the new cable or not?
Well, I mean, no, that bet was
by the way,
wrong.
that goes to that is today's Tucker Carlson question, right? Which is to say, you know, Tucker leaves Fox, goes on Twitter, and some people look at that and say, look, there's, you know, tens of millions of people that are watching him on Twitter. Is that the future of media or not?
I mean, I think not. I mean, I think it's pretty decisively not. That this was the big bet those companies made, that there would be a really healthy business in being distributed by these platforms as the platforms competed with each other, paid for higher and higher quality content the way the cables had. And I think they never did that. They relied on UGC, and they aren't going to stick around the way the cables are. You're seeing Twitter and Facebook kind of unravel.
User-generated content for those at 6:20 in the morning seeing UGC, right?
Did the ad dollars never show up there? Was it the platforms not handing
the platforms
over the money?
Monopolized them, and I think we're able to because they could get all this content for free, or at least thought they could.
They're not going to buy the cow when they can get the milk for free, essentially.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
Which is what happened with it.
Right. Well, I know, and they're not. And they. I mean, I think what happened with cable was that they decided they needed to pay out a lot of money to cable operators to channels to get great content and have a healthy ecosystem. Facebook, Twitter, Snap basically decided they didn't have to do that. I'm not sure. I think the jury is kind of still out on whether that was a good call.